All right, hey guys, Jono and Travis from Fitness Education Online. What I want to run through today is a boot camp workout, the AMRAP. I'm going to run through my favorite AMRAP, but I'm also going to show you like a bit of the science behind it and why I structure it like I do. So if you want to structure your own one, you can structure your own one with the same sort of thing. Now, an AMRAP, I've written it on the board here. It's pretty easy. So say 22-minute AMRAP, you do 22 squat jumps, 22 bridges, 22 walking lunges, 22 push-ups, 22 TRX rows, 22 kettlebell swings. That's one round, and then you do it again and again and again for 22 minutes until you do as many rounds as possible in 22 minutes. Now, it's become popular in like CrossFit. Very popular in the CrossFit sort of workouts. That's also made it unpopular because there's always those people that hate CrossFit. So they're like, oh, AMRAP, they do it in CrossFit, I'm not going to do it. But done properly, it's very effective in boot camp for three major reasons. Number one, everyone starts and stops at the same time. So everyone starts at 0 minutes and they go to 22 minutes. No matter if you're the fittest or if you're the least fit, you still go for 22 minutes, which is a huge advantage. Because really, you could say, oh, just do 4 rounds of that. But if you do that, some people are going to come first and they're going to be sitting around waiting, and then some people are going to come last and they feel bad because they came last. They're not going to come back.
It gets rid of a bit of that community where if you've got people finishing 5 minutes before someone else, they're sitting around, they're not really getting the best workout for themselves. Or conversely, if you've got someone who's the person who's finishing 5 minutes after everybody else, it sort of doesn't encourage them either. You know, they're like, oh, I'm letting everyone down, or I'm not keeping up. And so it sort of encourages them to short things and cheat a little bit. Whereas this, you can still say, look, everyone works at their own pace. You can do things properly. You do your squats properly. You do your lunges properly without cheating. There's no reason to.
Exactly.
Because everyone works together.
And this way, no one comes first, no one comes last. Yeah. Or if you do, no one knows. If I come last, no one knows. Yeah. All right? The other reason why I like it, I prefer working with reps to time, because really you could just do that as a circuit, but if you've been following me for a while, I freaking hate circuits. They're boring, okay? And even if you like them, it's just different.
It's just different.
Exactly.
Maybe you could do the same exercises in a circuit, and then all of a sudden you flip it around and do it as an AMRAP, and it's a completely different workout.
Exactly. Now, we'll run through this, and I'll sort of run you through why I've gone through some of these. So we'll get Travis to run through some of these. So he won't do all 22 reps, but he'll just do a couple to sort of give you the idea. So that he'll just do maybe 2 of each. So the first one was squat jumps. So we'd do 2 squat jumps. He'd then do 2 bridges. He'd then come up and do walking lunges. He'll just do a couple steps one way. All right, then he'd come back and do a couple steps the other way. The next exercise is push-ups. So Travis will do, he'll do 22 push-ups. He will just do 2. The next exercise is the TRX row. Travis will come over here and do the TRX row. All right, even you get the idea. He'd do the row there, that's fine. Then he'd go over and do the kettlebell swings. And then he would start again. Okay, once he's done his kettlebell swings, start again. Now, a couple reasons why I've programmed it like this. I'll go through a bit of the reason why I've used those exercises, and then I'll show you how to make it less boring, because it can get boring and repetitive. So a couple things with those exercises there. Number one, I've gone for 22 minutes. Okay, around 20 minutes is the sweet spot. Any longer, any shorter, or any shorter, you don't quite get the workout. Any longer, it gets boring. Okay, so 20 minutes is that sort of sweet spot. The exercises. So I've picked 6 exercises. I find that's the sweet spot as well. Any more than 6 exercises, it takes too long to explain. People are going to forget them. They've got to keep looking at the board. And then any fewer than 5 exercises, they're only doing like the same 4 exercises over and over again. So it can get super boring for them. Okay. The next thing is the reps. See how I've got everything at 22 reps? I've kept those reps the same so people don't need to think, oh wait, how much reps for squat jumps? Oh, how much for bridges? How much for walking lunges? Everything is just 22 reps. It's the same, so they don't need to think. Also, that sort of number, about 20 reps works well. Any more than 20 reps just gets freaking boring. All right? Now, what you want to do with your AMRAP, you want to get through about 4 rounds. So any more than 4 rounds starts to get a bit boring. Yeah, there's a bit of exceptions. 5 is okay, 6 is getting there, but 4 is perfect. Any less than 3 rounds and, you're not quite getting the duration in there. All right, so that's how I structure all of those. Just a bit of a summary. I want it to go for about 22 minutes. I want the reps to be about 20. I want to have about 5 or 6 different exercises. Now, that's all well and good if you program it like that. but it can get super boring if all you're doing is the same thing over and over and over again. So there's a few things that I always do to make sure that it's varied and it's fun. The first thing is with the exercises, you work in like different planes, you work in different chains, you do different movements. So if you see here, some of them are anterior chain. You got your squat jumps, your lunges, your push-ups. Some of them are posterior chain based. You got your rows, your swings, your kettlebells. Because in boot camp, it's super easy just to do the anterior chain stuff. And if you do an AMRAP where everything's like that, it's super boring. So you want to include those posterior chain. If you see there as well, some exercises are standing, some are on the tummy, some are on the back, some are moving. They're just different positions which make it that little bit more fun. There's a few body weight, a few equipment ones. And equipment wise, you can see here, all you need is one kettlebell and one TRX row and one TRX, and that'll hold 6 people. If you have 12 people at your boot camp, all you need is 2 kettlebells and 2 TRX rows. If you have 18 people, you need 3 of everything, all right? And the other thing with that is like, probably even less, because if your station is busy, you can just tell someone, all right, hey, the TRX is busy, go do one of the bodyweight ones and come back. Okay, so it's the first thing. The next thing I always do in an AMRAP is add in an interval. So every 2 minutes my timer goes off, and the exercise will be something like 40 skips. So say if Travis was working through his workout, he'd do his AMRAP, my timer goes, okay, yep, whistle goes, he does his skips, all right, 40 skips, and then he continues on. If you don't have a skipping rope, you could do star jumps, you know, he does 20 star jumps, continues on, okay? Some sort of interval. So every time that timer goes off, you stop what you're doing and do it. It's good because it breaks that up, and participants can, it's almost like interval training then. Yeah. Participants are like, all right, for a couple minutes I'll just work my ass off, then I'll do some skips. All right, couple minutes I'll work my ass off, then I'll do my skips. Just breaks it up. Okay. The other thing I always do to make it more interesting is just add a random exercise in. So when people are just working at their own sort of pace and that, there could be 20 people here. I'll go and tap Trav on the shoulder. He knows that he goes over there and does 20 battle rope slams as hard as he can. All right. Once he's done his 20, he'd just continue on. At random, I would just tap someone else and they would go. So that's cool because the interval stuff's good because it breaks it up, but the shoulder tap is good because it's completely random. Yeah. You don't know when it's coming up and you can have some fun with your participants.
And it also breaks up that whole feeling of, oh, I'm doing more rounds than someone else. Because when you add in that shoulder, you completely forget.
Yeah.
Completely.
Exactly. So it goes all over the place, and you can use that as well. If someone's in front, you can hammer them with that and get them to do 2 or 3 of them. And you can vary all that stuff up. Sometimes you do skipping. Sometimes you do a different style of skipping. Change the planes. You can do your side-to-side skipping. On the battle rope, you might do your bull whips, get in a different plane. All right. So that's my opinion on AMRAPs. Anything to add?
Yeah, same sort of thing. I think we were mentioning earlier, if you do a long AMRAP, so if you're looking at anywhere above 20 minutes, depending on your group, sometimes it's fun to add a bit of a run in there as the interval instead of the skipping. You might put a bit of a longer run for like a 25-minute AMRAP, 30-minute AMRAP. But like we mentioned, the problem with that is if you've got some people in your group who aren't runners and you've put in a 400-meter run, it then can, creates that same atmosphere of, oh, the person's going around the track and they're way behind everybody else. So it's taking them ages to get around the track. It creates that same problem. But depending on your group, it can be a really good way to break it up as well.
Exactly. If you've got like that fit group, if you've got a group and you know everyone's fit and you know they all can run, you can add that in at the end of it. You might say, hey, do your AMRAP, and then you do a 200-meter run. You know?
Also good for if you're training for, because I saw somebody in the group talking about Tough Mudder, and it's also good if you're training for something like that, all this sort of stuff followed by that 200, 400-meter run, great for all those obstacle courses.
Exactly, spot on. That's perfect. If that's what you're training for and you got your group doing it, that's perfect, where you do a run with some of this stuff, a run with some of this stuff. Yeah. Anyways, that's today's video. If you liked it, just hit like. Any questions, comment below. I might put that in the comment section anyway, so if anyone wants to use that exact workout, you can use that exact workout. We cover all this sort of stuff in our boot camp courses. I'll put the link below. Have a good day.